Ever felt like giving up when life gets tough? What if you could push through these moments, not just survive, but thrive? In today's episodes, we're unlocking the power of mental toughness and what it really takes to stay strong when life throws its hardest punches. Welcome to another episode of the Finding Success podcast. So me, Alex, and my man Dodds over there. How you doing, Dodds?
Oh, I'm good, mate. How are you?
Friend. Yeah, good, brother. I'm good. How has your week been?
Good. Tiring.
Yeah.
But we've upgraded the little podcast studio area. We're changing things, so just getting used to editing and stuff, which is quite nice. It's a newfound experience, and it's nice to actually challenge myself a little bit as well.
Nice,
So
yeah.
I'm enjoying that, mate. I'm enjoying that.
Is the change positive?
It's very. It's always positive.
That's what we
Come on, mate.
That's
we like
what
that.
we
You know
What book you reading?
Good question. I am reading Stoicism. Can't remember, by Jas Magnuson or something. It's quite a young bloke.
About the Stoic philosophy and the way they lived and stuff.
Yeah,
awesome. I'm into that. I haven't read any books about it. I just know a lot
First
about it.
of the one I've read
Okay.
or reading on like page 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I find it really fascinating. Their mindset, their way to life. It's cool.
Yeah.
I like it.
You,
I'm still on.
mate, you need to get over.
Have
that.
you seen how big that book is?
I know.
I've not done a lot of reading this week. That's where I'm slacking the most. I think I need to get better at reading during the week. When I'm good at when I'm away because I have a routine, but when I'm back at home, it's sort of just I need to get a routine back at home. I might be a bit better off, but yeah, still want that book.
We'll
Man, it's
get there,
massive,
mate. We'll
but it's
get
still a
there.
very, very valuable book.
Yeah.
A lot learned so far already.
Good. What are we talking about today?
This week we're talking about mental toughness.
Mm.
Commonly, wait, but before we talk about that,
Sorry.
almost got carried away there. I'm going to ask you, before we get into it, please subscribe to the channel. Whether it be on YouTube, podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen to this. Please press subscribe, like, whatever it is. Leave a review for us. Tell us how we're doing, what you want to hear more of. We want to know. Please get in touch. It really helps us out, and it'll help us bring you better podcasts for years and years to come. We ain't going nowhere, but we need some support getting this bitch up.
That's right.
No need for that language, was there?
I like it.
Right, but getting into it. So what is mental toughness? It's a great question, Adam. I'm glad you asked. So mental toughness is the ability to stay focused on the task at hand. Not being distracted by external stimulus. So let's do an example. So Ronaldo taking a free kick. Say he's in the semi-finals of the World Cup. He's got a free kick. It's 90 minutes into the game. You've got 2 minutes extra time. He's got a free kick. He's in on goal. He's just outside the penalty box. I think a lot of Americans are going to struggle with this, but you British people, you know what we're talking about. That's a lot of pressure. If he makes this goal, he goes through to semi-finals. If he doesn't, they don't make it through. Let's say it's that scenario. That's one hell of a pressure. A nation's, what do you call it? A nation of pressure on your shoulders having to take this. All right. If he was mentally weak, he would not be able to take this penalty. He would not be able to take this free kick. He will spoon it up into the grandstand. He will scuff it up into the wall in front of him. He will not be able to do it. However, we all know Ronaldo is an absolute elite weapon. He will be able to do it. Same as Roy McIlroy. Say he needed a birdie to win a tournament on the final hole. He was the last player to play. If he got a birdie, he won it. If he didn't, failure. He will know he's done enough work in the background to be able to take this shot. Yeah. He won't be fazed by the pressure of the crowd watching him. Like the world's press, the world's cameras facing him, videoing his every move. Look at zoomed in on his face. You know, he can see it on the big screen. There's some serious pressure there. He is mentally tough enough to be able to just zone out. In his head, I'm sure he's just in a normal training environment. No one's around. He's just going to play the shots he would normally play. He's not going to change it. That's what mental toughness is. A lot of people get mental toughness mixed up with physical toughness. There was an example of someone in NHL, a hockey player, had his jaw broke on the ice. Came out, had it all realigned, stitched up, went back out into the dugouts and finished watching the game because it was his team. He wanted to see what was going on. That isn't physical mental toughness. That is just he is hard as nails. Yeah, he's solid.
Big bloke.
Yeah. He can take a beating and just be fine with it.
Yeah. He
went out and watched his team, and there's a tiny little bit of mental focus. There's an overlap. Imagine a Venn diagram. There's a little bit of overlap in the middle, but mainly that is just physical toughness. He's hard.
Yeah.
Same as other physical toughness. Conor McGregor, he can take beatings for a career, for an absolute living, and yet still just be able to keep going on. Like some of those hits that he takes are harder than would knock us out. Oh, maybe not yourself, but me, it'd knock me
I think Conor McGregor's quite a good one because if you think of his current life as opposed to his previous life, right? So he was very focused on what he was doing. So mentally, he was engrossed in the whole aspect of being world champion, being UFC, Ultimate Champion or whatever, Ultimate Fighter. And he was so engrossed in that mental toughness and mental game, and also the physically strong of being the person he was going to be the best person ever. To now, if you look at him now, he's just an absolute cannon. And I'm pretty sure he wasn't like that previously. But if you look at him now, he's just getting drunk. He's probably doing gear. Yeah. He's on steroids. He's just a completely different person to what he was. So I think like that is just goes to show how people can change.
Absolutely.
And they've gone from being like physically, he was probably the very, very, I wouldn't say the world's most mental tough person, but he was very mentally strong.
His ability to go from where he was to the training that he put himself through to get where he was,
Yeah, but now he's probably very mentally weak.
Yes.
He's a very mentally weak person. Physically
Spot
very
on.
strong.
Absolutely.
Personally,
you still wouldn't want to go and punch him
because
he'd be able to take that punch.
Yeah.
But you're right, you could probably get into his head now more than ever.
Absolutely.
And is that because he's got stuff to lose now? Which before, when he was just growing up with his girlfriend at the time, they had nothing, did they?
No, it didn't matter.
Came from just bread.
Yeah.
Like, that's it, breadcrumbs. So putting everything on the line, didn't matter what they're going to lose, just go back to square one. Whereas now, if he puts up a lot,
completely
different. There's a lot to lose. Like that lifestyle, his yachts, his mansions, his cars.
Yeah, whiskey company, all of that kind of stuff.
A lot to go wrong. So yeah, you're right. Mentally now, there's a lot more on the line.
Yeah.
So is he now mentally weak? Could you get in and break him? I think so.
I think he does it to a lot of people. I think, he previously was fighting, he was given a lot of shit talk.
Yeah.
And I think the reason that he gave shit talk was not just because it was good for the cameras, but also mentally it would break you down.
The first win, yeah.
And that is how he would get into people's heads. Absolutely. I think now he'd be more susceptible to us getting in his head versus him getting into our heads.
I completely agree. You're right. Absolutely. That was very well put, to be fair.
Why do we not naturally have good mental strength then? Because obviously, like, he's formed that mental strength over the course of training and being hit in the face and XYZ and getting into people's heads. But why naturally do we not have good mental strength, do you think?
It's like a lot of things we talk about on here. It's not taught at school.
Yeah.
That mindset of just being unshakable, unwavering focus on the task at hand. It's not taught at school. And even so you learn from two places. You learn from your parents or your place of growing up, and you learn from school. That's about all you can learn from in your early years. If they don't teach us mental strength, like how are you going to learn that? How are you going to develop it? It's just not a thing available to you. And even when you get into older life, you sort of have to work out for yourself and find people that. Luckily, these days it's a lot easier. There's podcasts, there's videos, there's books that you can read about it. But imagine 100 years ago when none of this stuff existed. You're never going to learn about it.
No.
So back in the day, people like Marcus Aurelius, Roman absolute legend. How did he know that mental toughness was a thing? How did he know to work on it? Like, who did he learn it from? Was it just completely from himself, or did he have some mentors and some leaders? I'm sure there was a bit of everything there. And yeah, it's just not available to the wider audience of the world.
Do you think school is good at teaching anything for your mental well-being at the moment? As in, we're talking about mental strength here, sorry. Okay. What do you think school is in any way, shape or form good for building mental strength at all?
No, I don't think it is.
I think it's the reverse.
Yeah.
I think it does more damage than what it builds strength, because if you think about it, we're going to school physically every single day, which is hard mentally because we have to physically get up, get dressed and go to school, and it's like a routine that we're stuck to. But the kids in school nowadays, absolutely useless. The teachers probably don't want to be there because they're dealing with all these different people and it's just the struggles of different kids, which is so hard.
It's so hard.
I'm not going to blame the teachers at all, but I think they just get up to a point of going, fuck this, I don't do this anymore because I get paid nothing to do so much work, and like that. The whole reason being teachers, so you aspire to be, but like, you get these kids that have no want to be at school at all, and then you get kids that want to be at school, but in some ways probably get bullied because they're trying to do well in life, which is breaking down their mental toughness even more.
Absolutely.
So like, I think it's so hard to be mentally strong at school, and in some ways, I hope that in the future for me, I don't have to send my kid to school, because I don't want mentally tough.
I completely agree. Even and it comes down to the participation medal.
Yeah,
everyone wins. There's no outright winner.
No,
everyone gets an award for being here.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's not
that
right.
shit.
Yeah,
What?
it's not
You need to teach kids from an early age. You lost.
Yeah,
that was no good. And all right, it's hard, but that's going to help them develop some, or at least understand the emotional. It won't scar them, but emotional fatigue.
It's also the emotional need to drive for more, to aspire for more, to want to do more.
There'll be some cases where they get really upset, but you got to help. You then nurture that. You help work with them with that. And I know that's, again, teachers are underpaid, so they're not going to be paid to be nurturing people with low self-esteem and stuff. But you just do need it. Back in even just 50 years ago, that wasn't a thing in school, participation medal.
No,
there was a winner, there was a loser, and there was the last kid to get picked to every football team. It's just the way it was, and either they take it upon themselves to I need to do better, or they don't, and they just sit there and get by. But these days, school is not great for mental.
No, it's just so hard. I think it's so hard for teachers as well. But I also think that with being a parent, you could also help build mental toughness. So when it comes to I've got a participation medal today because I've finished a run. I finished last, but I finished the run.
Don't go home and put it on the fridge.
Yeah. You're like, well done, mate. You've run
100
meters, but you finished last. Do you want to finish last all the time, or do you want to improve the running? Well, I'd like to improve running. Okay. So let's start practicing running then. Or do you want to improve something else in life? There was a kid. I probably told this story before. I can't remember. But me and the girlfriend watched a video the other day, and it was about a dad sent his kid into the wild. This is in America, modern day. The kid wanted to do it. He wanted to go and basically stay out in the snow in Alaska for a night by himself. And so the kid went out there, had to start his own fires, feed himself. The kid's about 11, 12 years old. Had to feed himself, put his own tent up, start the fires, X, Y, Z. That is probably a massive, mentally strong kid in the future because he's got to do all that stuff himself. Mum's not there, dad's not there. He had a walkie-talkie to radio his dad if he needed to, because his dad was probably 200-300 meters away. So just like the little safety net, but it was all on his own.
Wow.
He was all on his own. So imagine physically doing that and being mentally strong enough to be freezing cold and have to light your own fire, be freezing cold and put up your own tent and know all those different things. I think that's great to be a mentally strong child.
Completely. I'm going to a little tangent here, but I heard about this study done. It was in America, and it was a young grade, maybe like year 2, year 3 sort of age. And they did a little case study on them. They made them do a exam that was at their level, gave it to them and go, right, you got 20 minutes to do this exam, whatever. They mark them, and on half the kids, they mark it saying, well done, I can tell you put a lot of effort into this, congrats, whatever. The other half of the kids, they put on a little note on it saying, well done, you're a smart kid. Got the same points, whatever. They then gave them an exam a few days later of a couple of grades higher than them, so a year 4 test. Now, it was like the next day, the next couple of hours, whatever. They gave them a year 4 test or a grade 4 test or whatever. The group that were told, we could tell you put a lot of effort into this, did much better than the kids that were told you're smart.
Yeah.
Because telling someone you're smart is like a fixed domain, like boom, you're smart, you're just naturally good. There's nothing else to go from there. Whereas effort is like a sliding scale. Oh, I can tell you put a lot of effort into that. They go, oh, if I put more effort in, I'll get more more praise.
Better.
Yeah. So, and they actually did better on that grade. Like, it was still a really hard exam for them, but they did better than the group that were told you're smart. You just sit back on your laurels and you'll get by fine.
Yeah.
There's a massive difference in just the way we speak to kids, and I think that's sort of lost in the modern day education system because there's so many kids, not enough teachers, not enough help. Like, it's a completely messed up situation, but unfortunately that's something that's happening, and I think it is now down to the parents to take that responsibility to use that. Oh, I can see you tried really hard in football today, young Johnny. Well done. I like to see that effort. Keep working on it. And as long as it's a sliding scale, not just you're really good at football.
Yeah.
If he's really good at football, he's never going to keep trying to be good at football.
Yeah, this is easy, and this game's easy. I don't need to try.
Exactly. So mentally, they've switched off. They're not fucking interested. Whereas the kid, you say, "Oh, I can see you tried really hard. Let's keep going." So, if I try hard, I'll give them more praise. And it's just they will grow as a human, and they will become better in the future. I thought it was a fascinating study.
Very interesting. How do we build mental toughness in?
It's a long process. It takes time. It takes effort. it's basically exposing yourself to adversity, responding to it the correct way. That's the key. You need to be able to. And again, just like what did we speak about in like last week's episode? I think it was. It's the awareness of the mental toughness. So you need to be aware of when you're getting triggered. You need to know your triggers. So if you're at work and your boss is coming out to go at you, and you find yourself getting quite angry, quite flustered, heart rate rising, breathing heavier, this is a trigger. You need to watch out for this. And it's only when you become aware. Again, the awareness time. You'll slowly. So from the act of becoming frustrated to your awareness, that time you need to work on bringing that time together, basically. Yeah. Because you might walk away from a situation 10 minutes later, you go, "Oh, I was frustrated by that. Damn, why did I let that frustrate me? I shouldn't have let that frustrate me." And then over time, just working on it, your awareness will come sooner and sooner to the point where you're in this conversation and you can catch yourself. You're going to go, oh, I normally get frustrated. I'm not going to. I'm not going to let myself breathe, stay calm. And that's how you will build it over time. It's just awareness, working on it over time.
Yeah, I agree with that. Got nothing to add to that, actually. That's perfect.
Nothing? Why is it so important today?
Yeah, I think, like we said, today's society is hard, right? Yeah. It's so many mixtures of different mindsets. I just want to go back a few episodes. I want you to talk about the cycle of tough men, easy life. What was it again? I can't remember. Sorry.
So hard times create tough men. Tough men create easy times. Easy times create soft men. Soft men create hard times. Hard times create tough men. Did I butcher that? I don't know.
It's close enough.
It was about. You get the gist.
But I want to talk about, like, we're in a stage of life at the moment where life is really easy for us.
Very easy.
So we're at the stage of being a weak man because life is so easy in regards to we don't have to go and hunt for food. We don't have to go and physically chase the animal, kill the animal, skin the animal, do all these other things just to feed our family is not a necessity. Absolutely. We can go to Tesco's. There is a chicken that is defluffed, de-skinned, got no giblets in the thing. It's clean, ship-shape, ready to go, put in the oven, and away we go, right? Life is easy.
Yeah.
If we look back at the physicality of chasing down a turkey, chasing down a chicken.
Deers,
Ever seen the film Rocky 1?
Oh, yeah. Chickens are hard to chase, man.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried chasing chickens?
Exactly.
They're fast.
Exactly. So that's number one, right? They're hard and fast physically, but mentally, to have the brain cells and the mental toughness to go, this is a necessity, I need to catch a chicken so I can feed my family, is hard. Today, we don't really have that.
Doesn't exist.
If you go, there's no chicken today, I'll just go down the next aisle and get some beef instead. Or, there's no beef today, I'll just put a pizza in the oven. Life's easy, right? So we're almost, in some aspects, our worst enemies because mental toughness doesn't need to be there. No. It's not mentally hard to go and do anything. It's not physically hard to go and do anything.
It's different these days. It's changed from back when we were hunter-gatherers where we had to go and survive in the wild and just put up with this sort of stuff. That's where we developed the fight or flight system inside us. We hear twig go snap in the woods, wolves coming at us to get our turkey that we just hunted and killed. Yeah. We sat around the fire. Immediately you need to go to fight mode or flight mode. So the kids' mothers would run, men would attack. I can't remember where I was going with this now. These days that doesn't happen. We don't have wolves coming to attack us and taking our food. No. Like you said, if there's no chicken, you go down the next shop or the next aisle and you get someone else. That is plentiful. But the scenario of men having to try and attack, like if you being valuable to your pack, basically, it all stems from being valuable to your pack. Yeah. If you were weak, a drain on the resources. So if you were
ill, broken,
you're gonna be left to die in the woods on your own because you're just taking resources for no reason of no avail. And it's that is still in our brain in some way. So in society now, in just social groups, if you're the weak one, a little bit of a drain on resources, a bit of a just a weak person, you're going to be shunned from certain crowds, certain work groups, all that sort of stuff. So it's worthwhile. Yeah, these days it's all about the workplace. How instead of I'm just waffling bollocks now. Where am I going to get to? now it's around the workplace where you're going to get flustered. You're going to get frustrated. You're going to lose control of those situations. It's nothing to do with food or anything these days. It's about how quickly do you get frustrated at work?
Yeah.
How quickly do you lose your mind that your missus is at home for not putting the dishes away? Do you lose your mind do you?
Yeah.
Ask yourself now. Come on, you smiled. Why did you smile?
Huh?
Why did you smile?
Because
you know it's a common thing.
My missus, she doesn't like washing up.
Oh.
So she'll cook dinner and then leave the washing up on the side. And then she'll go, I'll do it later.
Ooh.
I'll do it later. I'll do it tomorrow. And we laugh at this because I'm like, she knows that if she does it now, it's done.
Yeah.
And like she can chill. And 9 times out of 10, she will do it.
Okay.
And she'll leave it on the side and it's done. Like it's on the rack to dry, whatever. And then when it's dry, after we've had a tea or had a chat, we'll go back, put it away. It's finished, done. But it's the effort to go and do that, right?
Absolutely.
It's the physicality, like the mentality to go and do that. And there's two different forms, the way that forms, and we're not going to talk about it today because obviously I think it springs back to a habit.
Yeah.
I think some ways that's a habit that's caused that we don't necessarily have the mental discipline to do that. It's just a habit that's formed that we can go and do.
Yep.
But in some ways you're sabotaging yourself.
Absolutely.
Right? You're like, I could be somewhere else. I could be doing other things. I could be progressing in my life. I could be doing different areas, and instead I'm procrastinating, or I physically can't. I'm not mentally strong enough to go and do this.
Okay, so you're trying to find a reason not to do it.
Exactly.
But you know actually it will benefit you to do it in the future.
Absolutely.
This is where it comes in. Like the frustration of I don't want to do it, but I know I need to. It is annoying. But if you were just to push through it and realize you had to do it, that's it. You were sorted.
It's not hard.
Job done. Like you just push through it.
Anyway, the story's over. It doesn't matter about the
Yeah,
story.
yeah.
Forget the story. At the end of the day, it can be physically hard to do, mentally hard to do. Putting the dishes away, doing the stuff around the house, putting your shoes back on the shoe rack. All those things are really simple and really easy, but mentally they're quite challenging to do because you just don't want to do them.
Yeah, yeah. And your frustration out of your partners or your friends doing it in your own home,
Yeah.
that can get to you. And you just need to learn to have control over that frustration and realise that it's not going to help you. Getting frustrated over that sort of thing doesn't help you at all.
No.
So just learn to take control of that response in your head, that reaction. No, I'm not getting frustrated. I know it's annoying to have to do the dishes and put the shoes away and have them neat and tidy, but it's just the way it's not. It's not
the same with things at work, with mentally getting struggles at work, getting throwbacks, getting
told off for
horrible
things that
emails,
are out of your
getting-
control. Yeah, exactly.
stuff
Getting
like that.
CC'd
It's
on
just-
an email to your boss
leave me
about.
alone.
Yeah. You need to learn to stay cool, calm, collected. That's the key to these days. That's what mental toughness is today.
Yeah.
Being unshakable, essentially.
Killing the critic then.
Killing the critic. So the critic is something we all have inside of us. It's that voice inside. We develop it in our early teens, and we can start speaking to ourselves without externally speaking.
Yeah. The voice inside our heads.
Exactly. We all got it. How many times do you speak to? How many times does it speak to you? Now, for the majority of us, it's quite. It is a critic. It's just telling you, "Oh, you did that wrong. You should have done that better." Or you don't look that good in the mirror today. You should have worn a different pair of shoes. You know, why didn't you eat healthy today? Even though it was telling you earlier, but it's fine to eat at McDonald's right now because it's cheaper and easier, and you don't have to do any cooking or washing up. Yeah. It's a saboteur. We are pleasure-seeking machines. It will take you down the easiest road. We are built in to try and find happiness, like dopamine. We're chasing dopamine machines. So it will take you down to the takeaway to go and eat whatever food you can because it's simple, easy. You don't have to do the washing up.
No.
It will tell you just to dump your shoes at the door because that's simpler. I don't have to put them away straight away. I want to just walk in and sit on the sofa. I want to sit down and chill out, put Netflix on. That's the relaxing thing to do. It's literally sabotaging. That's what your head's telling you to do. If you can take control of it, powerful.
Yeah.
And it will always negative talk you. It will always put you down. It will never help you develop yourself unless you teach it to.
No.
And this is what we need. We need to turn it from a critic to a coach. And again, this takes time. It's awareness of you being critical of yourself. So every time, it's almost subconsciously we talk to ourselves. You just need to make yourself aware and go, no, I'm deciding now I'm not going to go to McDonald's drive-thru. I'm going to go home. I'm going to cook the chicken I've got in the fridge or the salad that I've got in the fridge. That's the key, just becoming aware of it. And when you're aware of it, turn it into a coach, turn it into an inner coach. Do supportive talk to yourself. Encourage yourself to do the right things. Encourage yourself to do the hard things. When you walk in the door, put your shoes away. It's hard in the moment, but over time, that habit will form and you'll create a much better life for yourself.
Yeah, a much easier life.
Easier, yes, well said, yeah, well said. Exactly. So it's tough to learn, but over time it comes and it will create a better life for yourself.
Yeah. Going back to like killing the critic, I want to talk about quickly just about habits, just touching the base on habits. So self-sabotaging ourselves, like we said last week, really easy to do, quite common. There's a whole episode, go and listen to last week's episode if you want to listen to that. But the negative talk side of things becomes a habit in some cases. And where the habit breaks is, like you said, turning from a critic to a coach. So rather than going, I'm shit at this, you think, how can I be better at this? Let's do some external research and figure out how I can improve stuff. So you've gone from being critiquing yourself to being, I'm crap, to coaching yourself on how can I do better. And that question there can change that from being a critic to being a coach.
Love that.
So just doing that simple task, and that habit, as you said, will form easily and go from being the critic to being the coach, and then your life will completely transform.
Spot on. End of pod.
One of the key pillars to success is mental toughness, being unshakable. Without it, progression will be slow. Take time to build awareness around situations like work, at home, in sports. Build up that strength to really master your life.